When I first got to work, I wanted to decorate my office in a way that would be a little bit intriguing to people that would walk in. So I took a bunch of Project Inspire cards, pamphlets, and I pinned them up on my board. People come into the office and they ask me questions all the time, like, what's on your wall? And I often say, oh, come here, I'll show you. And I pull different things off and I say, oh, this is about guarding your tongue, and this is about how do we reach ultimate happiness, and these are about 5 levels of pleasure. And I just give it to them off the wall. It wasn't like they were anti-learning, they just never knew.
Being a mortgage broker in Staten Island, I have the opportunity to make a Kiddush Hashem every day. When somebody comes into my office to apply for a mortgage, I'll often be in the middle of something else and I might have to have them wait for me for a few minutes. In my lobby, I have copies of Kiruv-oriented Sfarim. People will pick these up while they're waiting for me and leaf through them. And if I see that I have a potential client, so to speak, I may encourage them to take the book with them.
I work in Manhattan on Wall Street for a marketing company as a senior business manager. I instituted something at work where I will do like potato kugel Fridays, where I will bring in potato kugel for everyone to share, and I just feel that it's a great way to really touch people and connect them to their Jewish roots, even through traditional Jewish food. Potato kugel at 1 o'clock, get your hot potato kugel, and it's just a nice way of sharing the Jewish tradition with everyone, hopefully reaching the hearts of the people that are Jewish.
I work as a landscaper in Muncie. When I go to a house or meet a client and they have a last name that sounds Jewish, a Schwartz, someone way out on the outskirts, I'll try to find out. I'll look for a little mezuzah on the door. Sometimes I could tell, and if so, I make it my best effort to speak with them more. In landscaping, I can't do anything all in one day. I've got to plant a seed, I've got to water it, fertilize it. This is how I feel that reaching out to people is the same way. I try very hard to plant a seed and give them a positive experience with a frum person, and then Hashem will send the next person to do the rest of the job.
Jewish people are my sisters and brothers, and Baruch Hashem, my family is from. Let's say they weren't from. I would want people to reach out to them. So that's why we reach out to other people. The children and I once went to a neighbor, Erev Rosh Hashanah, we would bring them apples and honey, and we were getting ready to knock on the door. And the kid said, Ma, we're so nervous to do this. They knew the lady had a dog and we don't know her, and let's say she's not happy to see us. And I said, you know what, kids? I also felt nervous inside. I did. I thought that the lady might say, you know what, you lived here 4 years and now you're coming? I didn't know how I would be greeted, but I said to the kids, if we know we're doing the right thing, we're going to do it anyway, even if it feels a little uncomfortable to knock on a stranger's door. We're going to do it anyway. And we did knock on the door. We were all brave together, and we knocked on the door, and she was surprised but happy to see us.
I work in finance, advising sophisticated investors on hedge fund strategies. A client of mine, a very wealthy man, I visited his house in Palm Beach, Florida, and he had, every inch of his house was covered with a Picasso, a Chagall painting. This is a guy who had everything, and I thought to myself, what can I get for someone who's got everything? There's a great website called aishaudio.com where you can actually order an MP3 player or an iPod and have it come loaded up with certain Torah classes. I got him a top-of-the-line iPod, and I wrote him a quick note saying, I suggest you check out the 48 Ways, number 16, which is Rabbi Weinberg's shir on business and Torah and really getting the most out of life. He was really blown away by the gift. He told me that his wife is listening very attentively to those lectures.
I had been talking to a friend of mine for a long time. I kept trying to inspire her to learn more about Yiddishkeit, and it was like this went on for a while, and then finally I just called her up and said, would you like to join us for Purim? And she accepted, and she came. We had a wonderful student. We had a 3.5, 4-hour conversation about Purim and about all kinds of things. And she came out of that and she said, now I understand everything you've been trying to talk to me about. I didn't get it until I came to your home and I saw it and I saw your community. And it was so meaningful to her. And since then she's been calling me and saying, you know, I've been talking to God more. It gave me such pleasure. I can't tell you, Kiruv is such an opportunity to give and to light someone else up, and it's such a blessing.
One time my parents had a family over and there was a girl and she was wearing jeans and she looked different than me, but I took her up to my room and I showed her my toys and she looked at my bed and she saw all the shalchmanas and she said, I never had that much candy in my life on a holiday, so I gave her some and her friend and I made her feel good.